Good morning, my children, and welcome to your English class, the class of the teacher Jacob. Today, my children, we're going to start the review of the letter D, capital D and small d. Remember, we already started with the alphabet. The first letter of it, it's the letter A, capital A, small a, and we also saw objects like the ambulance, another object that you remember. Okay, the airplane, the apple, the ant, excellent, very good. Also with the capital B, we saw the balloon, the bone, the boots, the ball, very good. With capital C, we saw the clown, the coin, the car, okay. Today, we're going to continue with the fourth letter of the alphabet, which once again, capital D and small d, okay? Now, before we start with the objects of today, I'm going to show you what's the shape and form of both of those letters. Remember, recuerden que todas las letras que vamos a trabajar en el abecedario, todas tienen dos formas. Las mayúsculas, which are the big ones, and minúsculas, which are small, pequeñas, okay? The capital D, the shape and form of the capital D is like this. Okay, we have the capital D. Now, the shape and form of the small d is like this. Okay, now for this letter, my children, you have to be very careful because it's similar to the letter B, the letter of balloon, of bone, okay? It's similar, but it's not the same. It's completely different. The difference here is that the circle, the semicircle, goes on the left side, okay? And with the letter B, goes on the right side, okay? Debemos de tener cuidado para no confundirnos con la B minúscula, porque aunque sea similar, es muy distinta a la D minúscula, ¿ok? Recuerden, la D minúscula tiene la pancita del lado izquierdo y la B minúscula tiene la pancita del lado derecho, ¿ok? So we have to be very careful not to make the mistake of getting confused with small b. Now, let's check some of the objects that we can find with, first of all, capital D. For this, we have two options. The first one is the duck, okay? Now remember, the duck, it's an animal of the sea. In most of the cases, it's colored yellow, okay? And make noises like quack, 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 quack. And it's always walking in a funny way. Siempre caminan muy graciosos, the ducks, okay? Now, about the cartoons, we have two popular ducks that appear in our favorite cartoons. The first one is the Donald Duck, okay? Which appears in Disney movies. The other duck is the Daffy Duck, which appears in the Looney Tunes, ¿ok? Recuerden que tenemos dos patos muy populares que aparecen en las caricaturas. El primero es el pato Donald, which in English it's called the Donald Duck, okay? That's the one that I have it here on the whiteboard, and the other, el otro es el pato Lucas, or Daffy Duck, okay? Now the Daffy Duck, it's completely colored black with the beacon con el pico color yellow, okay? In the case of the Donald Duck, the skin, la piel, completely colored white and the beacon color yellow, okay? So we have the duck with capital D. Another object that we have with this letter is the dragon, okay? Remember the dragon, we already saw it. Both the students that are new to this class, the dragon begins with the capital D. Now let's see characteristics of the dragon. One of the most common characteristics is that it's similar to a dinosaur, but the difference is that it has two wings, so it can fly. Okay? Another characteristic of the dragons is that it breathes fire. And of course, dinosaurs didn't have wings and didn't breathe fire, okay? Ahora, los dragones, aunque se parezcan a los dinosaurios, tienen diferentes características. Una de las características de los dragones es de que tienen dos alas para que puedan volar. Y otra característica muy importante de los dragones es de que lanzan fuego. Okay, very good. So, about the colors, most of the dragons are color green, but they can also be color black, purple, or even color red, okay? Like the dinosaur that appeared in the movie Shrek, that dinosaur was color, I believe color pink, color red, okay? A mixture of those two colors, but again, for the dragons, we can have several colors, okay? The one that I put here, color green. Now, talking about the small form of the letter D, small d, let's see objects that we have with that letter. The first one is the dog, the Dalmatian dog, okay? Now remember, the dog, it's an animal that has 4 legs, and it's always happy, always jumping, and always with the tongue out, siempre con la lengua de fuera, because they are always thirsty, siempre tienen sed, the little dogs, okay? Now, sounds that perform the dogs, remember, the different sounds are whoo, 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 whoo. That's the sound of the dogs, okay? Now, the dog that I have right here, it's a mixture of 2 colors, color white, okay, with spots, con manchas, color black, okay? Now, the race of this dog, it's the Dalmatian, okay, dog, el perro dálmata. Another object with the letter D is the doll. Now, the doll is part of the family of toys, okay? Pertenece a la familia de los juguetes. Doll, in Spanish, muñeca, okay? And dolls, they are basically for girls, okay? Remember, for boys, we can play with the cars, we can play with the dinosaurs, we can play with the Avengers. In the case of the dolls, they are preferred by girls, son las preferidas de las niñas, okay? But if a boy plays with a girl, there is no problem, okay? There is no problem. You can play with any toy that you want. Now, before we finish, my friends, let's review one more time the vocabulary of today with the letter D. Let's start with the capital D. Remember, the teacher Jacob says it first, and then you have to repeat it with all of your energy, louder, so I can hear the pronunciation. Capital D. Dog. Capital D. Dragon. Small d. Dog. Small d. Doll. Okay? Remember the difference? Duck. Dog. Doll. Very good. So that's it for today, my children. I hope that you have a wonderful day. As always, the teacher Jacob loves you very much. Goodbye.